Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today's build and play, we're going to be talking about the Mighty Hood. It is, if you are watching this video the day it comes out, currently on sale in the shop, so I figured it'd be a great idea to talk about this ship. So, let's get started with the Commander. So, this is actually just John Fisher, as you see. It just has a skin on it. And as time has went on most of my UK battleships now have switched to John Fisher over Cunningham. If you like Cunningham, you can use Cunningham as well. Um, this is not one of the ships. If you have Azure Lane, this is not one of the ships I probably would use Azure Lane on. But the main reason I like John Fisher over Cunningham is because of the extra heals. And with these extra heals, Hood becomes super tanky, and you're going to see that in today's match. I've actually had Cunningham and Nelson on this for the few matches I've used it, and really, I actually prefer Fisher. um, but for your inspirations, these are going to be the same whether you use Cunningham or Fisher. Scharnhorst, if you don't have Scharnhorst, you could use Cunningham or whatever you choose in that slot. D-Revel for the reload time. I really do like this base trait of having extra reload in range. It does always come in handy. Uh, Cunningham has a grouping, which is also another good one. But for skills, flammable cannoneer, generating drill bits, reformer, and master mechanic with fight fire with fire as your legendary skill. For your mods, aiming systems mod 1 for your first slot. For your second one, the steering gears mod 2 to help out with dodging torpedoes, and the third slot, concealment mod 1. For your loadout, you have 5 heals on this build, and they're good heals. They're definitely not like Marlboro or Conqueror heals, but they are really solid heals. Also, you have two sonars. Doesn't always come in handy, but sometimes it does. But with these heals, you definitely you become pretty tanky in this ship, as long as you're not taking citadels. But anyway, 65,000 health, which is decent health. Your guns are 15-inch guns. You have 8 of them. They reload in 24 seconds. They do 12,000 AP, and I actually recommend using the AP on this. I know most people will have a tendency on the Great Britain battleships to go ahead and use HE. This is not one of them ships. The AP does hit pretty good. For AA defense, it's not terrible, but like I said, haven't really had to try it out too much yet. You haven't got focused by a carrier, but definitely with the 5 kilometers, having some out there doesn't seem awful. Obviously not amazing, but for maneuverability, even with I think it's gyrating drill bits that takes away your speed, you still are at 29 knots with this thing. It's pretty good. Now, the turning circle is not ideal, but it has a good rudder, so it's shiftier than what this looks like, I will say. Concealment 12.6, because now we have the concealment mod at tier 6. And honestly, this is pretty good for a battleship. Obviously, you're not going to be super stealthy, but as far as battleships go, 12.6 is pretty solid. For the matches that you can see, I've had 5 in it. Use basically a different commander every time. And I definitely like the John Fisher one. But as far as the ship goes, it does very well. The guns are more accurate than you think they are. You think that they miss a lot, and it happens. I feel like a lot of people do that with double turrets, double gun turrets. They feel like they're not accurate, when in reality, this thing is pretty accurate. 85,000 average damage, a little below average for me, but not terrible. But a 1.1 million or 1 million potential damage. You can see it's tanky. That number I can assure you is going to go up with the new John Fisher build. I will be able to take a lot more damage. For your armor, actually not bad. In this, if you angle with this ship, it's pretty hard to kill this thing. If you're playing it correctly. But you have a 25 millimeter bow, meaning everything over 14-inch guns is going to be able to overmatch your bow. So there's a lot more stuff at tier 6 that way. We'll take all this off so you can see it does in fact have a turtleback. It's not a huge turtleback. It's a very short, highly sloped one. It does help, but you can definitely be taken out in this ship if you're not careful. If you're not angled, this thing will, you can take some pretty good citadels in it. It is a pretty low citadel, but you can, like I said, you make a turn with this thing or give somebody your broadside, it can really hurt. As we go ahead and start this match and check who we're up against, I do want to say it is disclaimer time. This is a beginner's guide to help out people just learning this ship or learning the game in general. This is not for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything. There is also multiple ways to build and play ships, so opinions will vary. I am just a above average player. I don't claim to be the best player in the world. I just am a pretty darn good player. So I do make mistakes. You're going to see some in this match. And also, you didn't come to this video to see how to pronounce names, as I am very terrible at slaughtering other beautiful languages. It's almost an art form, so keep that in mind when you're watching this, guys. With that out of the way, we're at Tears of the Desert. As you see, Bismarck spawned next to me. We are bottom tier. And I actually had thought about going to the left to help the left flank because I figured Bismarck would go right to the middle. He doesn't. He actually goes to the other side of the map. So I'm going to go ahead, is I always try to play off of what my teammates are doing to put us in good positions. I figure I will try to go to the center here and hold the center and maybe go work along these islands over here. Something I do quite a bit. In fact, if you just saw the Mutso, that's what I did in the Mutso video on Hotspot, and that's kind of what I like to do here. But as you can see, it doesn't seem like there's nothing here. I'm not spotted, and if a destroyer was here or a cruiser, you would think I would be spotted here right now. And then I notice our two teammates are bulking up here on the left side of these islands, and that is going to hurt that side of the flank if somebody doesn't help get crossfire. So the two battleships right up here, I decide, they're right together. There's nobody here. As you can see, the Ganizano has went to the other flank. Mayoko is gonna try to take the middle. So with these guys hiding up against the mountains, I figured I would come out and help our destroyer out there and to try to weave my way through the middle here, but because this isn't a super effective spot when there's only a couple people here. As you can see, there's a Magi, and we're going to get a free shot here over the mountain. But as you can see, our destroyer is going to get radared here, and a destroyer is not in a good position, so we lose spotting. That is actually one of the reasons I came over here, because if the destroyer isn't able to, you can see our two battleships are just sitting behind that mountain, and that's kind of where they'll stay for a while, and I'll do my best to get crossfire. There is Belfast, who did radar our destroyer, and we are going to get a couple defends on him. Now, this Belfast and me kind of have a little bit of a back and forth for a lot of the match. As you can see, he starts with the fire. Now here, I'm thinking I'll let my battleships help out quite a bit. I'm not worried about my health in the beginning of the match. As you can see, I do take a pretty gnarly hit a little bit from the Amagi, but after he goes ahead and does that, we hit him back a little bit harder, and we make our turn. You don't want to make that turn until he's fired his guns. And you can see we do get a double fire. Again, I can completely heal fire damage. So I'm not really worried about the fire damage here. I can disengage and heal up if I need to, as Amagi goes broadside here. And we, again, hit him pretty good. So right off the bat, we take basically 40,000 off of Magi. And right now, my only concern is really getting rid of Amagi, because I can completely not, there's clearly now not a destroyer over here, so we can disengage pretty much whenever we want to on this side. As we're gonna go ahead and get rid of Amagi, but you can see we're on fire, so we're gonna make the turn. I was planning to go dark and sneak up on Belfast, but you're gonna see here, I go dark, I make the turn, but with this fire going, I'm losing a pretty good amount of health here, and we are gonna move in case Belfast makes, he comes out of his smoke and he's close by. Again, we're getting another heal, and you're gonna see how low I am on health and how tanky this ship is. I've taken a beating so far. But we're going to take a shot here at Belfast. We're going to hit our heel, and then I decide against... I take one shot, and then I turn out, because chasing cruisers is not a good way to survive. And our destroyer is actually alive over here, so he can go ahead and take the cap. We've backed off the cruisers. And the Amagi is now dead, so we're going to get a heal up and try to go dark here, and not worry so much and try to go calm for a second. So we have 3 heals, and we can go ahead and get them off. And you can see our destroyers in there getting the cap. When I got this ship, I was surprised on how tanky this ship can be with the 5 heals, whether you're using Nelson, which I don't necessarily recommend because AP is better on this, or if you're using Fisher. And I really do like John Fisher. The more I've used John Fisher, I think I'm going to switch all my AP British ships over to John Fisher. As Colorado is back there, we're going to go at distance, throw some shells on them. Now we're spotted. But we're going to try to make our way behind this mountain. I'm not too worried because we got a heal coming in about 20 seconds. So we're going to get very unlucky on that salvo. But again, we go dark here because now Colorado's behind the mountain. That Belfast went pretty far back, actually. And the Colorado shoots HE and does miss. So we're going to hit our heal again. We take a lot of damage in the beginning, but we get a good, nice salvo on Colorado there. 5 of the 8 get full pins. And my game plan is we're winning this side. These battleships staying behind this mountain here isn't going to do us much good. But there's a destroyer over there for them to spot now that the battleship is gone, and we've kind of scared away these cruisers. So my thought is try to get my heals back. As you can see, it slow down. We have spotting from the destroyer. We're going to try to get rid of this Colorado before we move along. I don't want to be chasing cruisers the rest of the map, so we're going to actually go ahead and start to move on. But you can see we're starting to lose teammates on that left side, and I make a call very early to go over and help there. There's 2 battleships right here. They did just get the finish off the Colorado, and we're going to head over that way. But honestly, I really do like the hood. You don't hear about it much in the game, and at tier 6 you really don't hear, it's not like Tier 5 where it's loaded with battleships. This, Tier 6 it's a little bit more select on your premium battleships. Honestly, now that I played Hood is probably my go-to for Tier 5 or Tier 6. I really like it. Uh, you know, there isn't a whole lot of great premium ships at Tier 6. So if a person is wondering, this is one of the better ones. I'm surprised it's not talked about more, especially when you play it pretty well. You can see it takes a beating. It really does take a beating. So we are working our way back. You can see the destroyer is spotted in E and is chasing our battleship. um, so we're gonna head off, or we're gonna head that way. So, and I am kind of keeping an eye on the right-hand side just in case the cruisers pop up. And sure enough, when you go dark, cruisers have a tendency to come back. And so we're gonna take a shot without him even seeing it's coming. Obviously, at that range, it can be tough to make that shot, but you never know until you try it. So again, not spotted yet, and you can see we're back up to about half our health from being like on the brink of death for a while. And we're gonna take another shot, and this one I was thinking this one might hit because Belfast might not see this over the island. And sure enough, we do get a little bit of a hit there. 3 of our shells do hit. Now, I know with our battleship going off here and being located that the destroyer is over here. And we do have a sonar, and we're spotted by a plane, but we're not spotted by eye. We're not physically spotted by a ship yet right now, so we are going to go ahead behind this island. I know he's coming to take B. Like, that's pretty clear. They're losing. They need the caps to win. So I am actually trying to get behind this island and go this way so that if he does pop out, I can kind of sneak attack him. And he doesn't really see that I'm really here. So we're going to quit worrying about the cruisers. If you see, their whole team outside of the destroyer is all the way back. So there is 100% no worries right now other than this destroyer. And you can see here, I cannot believe that I haven't seen him yet. So I think here in a second, I actually popped my sonar just in case he's ready out to kind of sneak attack me. Because I figured by now I would have seen him go to B. And I'm super confused. But anyway, we spot the dragon, and we loaded HE for the destroyer, but we're gonna switch back over to AP to try to finish off the dragon. As you see, we hit our sonar, and I was really surprised not to see him anywhere around here. He must have slipped through the island where that battleship died, because he is gonna make it into B here in a few seconds. So I made a good call going through there to sneak attack him, but just out of sheer luck, didn't see him. Now the Southern Dragon has no idea I'm here right now. Because he's had a destroyer go all the way to B and not see me. So we're going to work on getting over here. We very well could lose this match if we're not careful. And you can see there is the Z35, and we do catch a dragon here. And I don't shoot right away, and the reason I don't shoot right away is I figured he was going to make a turn very early to shoot his torps, and I thought he was going to do it here, so I'm like, this is good enough angle, I can hit him a little bit. So we do hit him, and then I start to turn. And the reason I start to turn is he 100% is going to try to torp me. There is absolutely 0% he's not going to make a broadside turn here to torp me. So we're going to turn out because we know torps are coming. We want to get skinny. Also, there is an Iowa out there too, so there's no reason to run into 2 ships. And as you can see, there is Iowa. We're going to take a shot because we're going to be in the dark, and there are the torps. Now I could have stayed in this and got the cap and got some free corny XP, but there was no reason for me to do that. We have a huge cap lead. There's no way they're going to get it with 2 minutes to go, and I would rather not get in a huge fight with the Iowa right here. You know what I mean? So instead, if I need to at this distance, 12-6, I can go completely dark, as you can see. So the fight is on my terms, and if he's gonna kill me, he's got to chase me. So I got to be a little bit careful. You can see me pop my butt out while I'm doing the warship wiggle here, so that um, I'm staying angled to him. I can't just drive straight away because he can overmatch um, our stern there. So we're gonna be careful. But I always start turning back right when I shoot, so that I'm already angled where I want to be. And I switch over to HE only because he's directly at me, and I figured, what the heck, we'll throw some HE out on him and try to burn him down. But I got really unlucky on the fire chance. I think the first couple salvos. I didn't even get a fire until I think we get one here. And of course, obviously he damage cons it, but honestly, that's a smart play here with a minute go. It's not like you have to worry about a double fire forever, but we're gonna go ahead and get our guns back on. You can see every time too we get unspotted, so this is why I didn't have a problem doing this, because if I want to disengage, I can 100% disengage. And we are gonna go ahead and shoot another salvo, get turned back before he shoots us again. And we get a perma fire. We take out a bunch of his secondaries and AA. But that is about the end of the match. And basically, me and the battleship had to stay alive with the points lead. In fact, thinking now, if this match had went longer, I definitely could have taken out the Iowa. We didn't really take any health from him, or we didn't take any damage really from him. So, but anyway, we tanked a lot of damage. We helped our team win, most importantly, and we did really well. We got a dreadnought and a decent damage total, but most importantly, helped our team win, top of the leaderboard. Anyway, hopefully this helps you guys out. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, folks.